Imagine, for a moment, you're walking down the street of your hometown. You see the familiar face or passing stranger. A bar, a pawn shop, that 50s-inspired diner that no one ever seems to go to except on Friday nights for some reason. But then, you see the flick of feline ears, the sway of a long tail, and the gleam of a tabby's eye. You think it to be a stray cat, until you find them attached to the body of a human woman. Laughable, you might say. Impossible, you chortle. But nothing is impossible in the anime lab. Greetings, all who roam this world. I knew one of you freaks were gonna ask about this, so I'm getting it out of the way right now to save myself the pain later. On today's episode, the season finale of the Anime Lab, we'll be discussing the fantastical, ferocious felines from every isekai and every other anime known to mankind. Cat girls. Or more appropriately, demi-humans. But we'll be focusing primarily on cat girls because it's easier that way, and I know that's what you want. I've read the comments. I know your sins. So, what is a cat girl? Well, to the well-adjusted audience members who don't know, a cat girl, or simply neko, is, as it sounds, it is a girl with feline features, primarily the ears and tail. The origins of the neko, or nekomimi, or nekomusume, can be found as far back as the Edo period, with stories like the shape-shifting bakeneko, or in ukiyo-e art. It wasn't until the 1920s that we saw catgirls depicted as more beautiful and less monstrous. And we can thank and or curse one Miyazawa Kenji for his depiction. Look at this dude. He has no idea what he's unleashed onto the world. But enough about how they came about. You're here to figure out if it's possible to make catgirls. To that end, we need to look into biogenetics, so let's get splicing. Now, in order to figure out how to fuse a human and a cat without the end result looking like either the werecats from Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, or Thundercats, or the musical Cats, all of which are not a good end result, mind you, we need to talk about CRISPR, or clustered regularly interspaced short palindromic repeaters. If that sounds like I just said a bunch of vaguely scientific words at you to sound smart, I did, but they actually have meaning. Basically, CRISPR in tandem with Cas9 proteins, I'm not going to get into that, this video is already long enough, are used to target parts of someone's genome and DNA in order to edit it for the benefit of that person. For instance, someone could, go and remove cells infected by HIV, effectively curing them of that disease. And I know that's meant to sound like a hypothetical, but it's not. A team at the University of Amsterdam actually did that. And it worked! If we can remove a part from our DNA through CRISPR, then certainly we can put something in its place, right? I ask as if I expected an answer from you, the viewers, but in reality it's just me speaking to Anthony, who has no idea what I'm talking about. Where was I going with this again? Right, replacing body parts to make catgirls. Sounds really Frankensteinian. Well, we do something similar in the medical field, I say, not being a doctor, just not through genetic manipulation. Enter xenotransplantation. And before the Warhammer 40k fans start getting an itchy trigger finger or start revving up their chainswords, let me explain. Xenotransplantation is basically the implantation or infusion of animal tissues, organs, or other fluids into a human recipient. For example, a pig skin can be used as a replacement for a burn victim, or even its kidneys could be used in case of extreme kidney failure, or if there isn't a replacement readily available. Now, the problem with this type of procedure is we run the risk of the human host rejecting the transplanted organ, and in some cases, the host may come out worse than before. Now, I'm not saying we can simply take a cat's tail and ears, slap it on a human body, and call it a day. Mainly because that would be horrible and unethical, you fucking monsters. But we also have to think of organ complexity. I don't know if you've noticed, but humans don't exactly have tails. Because of this, our bodies won't be able to register how to make it work properly. especially since most tails are made for balance. Our bodies would look at this thing and be like, oh great, I gotta figure out how this thing works. Gotta learn how to use this as a counterweight. Fuck! Now you're probably thinking, well, can't we use that crispy stuff to edit a baby's DNA to make cat girls? Okay, first of all, it's called CRISPR, so thanks for paying attention to the lecture. And second of all, yes, we could do that if you were psychotic. The problem we'd run into is the same as if we did xenotransplantation, where the cells might not bond with each other due to either the immune system being too damn good at its job or the organs just not bonding well. Like, if it did work, if we were able to connect a tail to a human body, that doesn't mean it can just start wiggling around like with its control. It might as well just be dead weight. Let's say we were successful in making a demi-human, demi-cat girl creature. The first generation would have very little human features, if we're honest, which at that point is not even a cat girl. That is a girl cat. Emphasis on the cat. It's like some kind of chimera or homunculus, and if Full Metal Alchemist has taught me anything, nothing good can come from either of those. We also have to think about the moral ramifications of this. Can we really take an embryo and toy with it in a lab just to fulfill some fetish that was unknowingly made in the 1920s by some guy named Kenji? Have you ever seen Gattack? That movie is basically this, but way fetishier. We ask ourselves if we can, when we need to ask ourselves if we should. Jeff Goldblum once again haunting the narrative of genetic science. Fuck! Okay. We may not have genuine cat girls, but that doesn't mean we can't fill the void in the meantime. I mean, you've been to anime conventions, I assume. I mean, why else would you watch this show? Because that's why we made fake cat ears and tails, so we can emulate that feeling. Even if that feeling is through several inches of neon faux fur and keeps making chew toy noises with their hands. And they always seem to find me at the Ren Fair. Why? It's like 90 degrees out. How are you surviving in that shit? We may not have cat girls, but that doesn't mean we can't have cat girls. So go ahead and live your dreams of being with or being a cat girl in the meantime, before science rears its ugly test-tubed head. You little freaks. A goal of genetic science or a madman's scheme? A dainty maiden or a deplorable monster? Will science cross the line into the unethical? All for some weebs to hear a genuine nya from a genuine cat girl in a genuine maid outfit? Who can say? Perhaps it will be possible in the future. Or perhaps it already is. In the Anime Lab. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to stay up to date on all our latest videos. And let me know what topics you'd like me to make a video on. I do read the comments. Anthony makes me. Support our Patreon so we can keep making stuff like this. And follow us on all our social medias. We post stuff there. And don't forget to use code QuestPros for 10% off at Robin's Nerd Supplies. We also have shirts. Put them on your torso. I've got one. You can have one. It'll probably look better on you. But with that, this has been the Anime Labs, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye!